And thanks to the great turnout today, we've only got one item on the agenda. If everybody please stand. I'm going to do our blessing first. Mr. Chapel, you're up.
Lord, bless this council as we could have another night to making agreements for the city and make sure that we make the right decisions for them. Also bless our fire department, our chief department, and our military that we have here on Tyndall. I ask you all in this name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. See what you got for me. Call the roll, please.
Miss Barrow,
Here.
Miss Boddiford,
Here.
Mayor Kelly,
Here.
Mr. Haney, Mr. Chapel.
Yes.
Very good. Before we get started, is there anybody in the audience that would like to have a conversation about any subject matter that's not on the agenda? If you would, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record. Okay.
Wait, I would.
Okay.
I'm taking my hat off and putting it here.
Okie doke.
I'm coming as a resident of Parson Knoll, council member. And this, I'm asking the council to look into something to do about these cats that people have that don't get them spayed. I wound up with 4 last year. The last one's December the 31st, a kitten on New Year's Eve morning. I just had her spayed 2 weeks ago, cost me $328. Over double what it was last year. The last one I got fixed, it was not mine. These cats are coming from one home, and these people are not taking care of them. They're not getting them fixed. They are going to everybody else's house, and the neighbor that was on 3rd Street no longer is at her home, and she was taking some and getting them spayed, and she was feeding them. Well, now they're going to other people's houses, and my neighbor on 4th Street, he said this morning that he has 9 he's feeding now. And I don't have a problem with the cats can't help it. You know, they can't help being here. But the people that are not doing their job and getting their cats fixed, it's putting the burden on myself, because I'm not just getting them fixed, but I'm having to buy food every day for them. It's costing me money, you know, and I wind up keeping these cats. I'm feeding 15 cats. Some of them are mine, which I've had to keep them anyway, but I'm asking this council if you could look into something, or ordinance or something, check with Bay County, anybody, anything, I don't care to where we have to go, to find something that we can have these people held accountable for this.
Isn't that terms for animal cruelty?
Miss Barrow, do you really want me to do something about this?
I'm asking because I'm getting the brunt of it, and so is my other neighbor and all the neighbors around. And one's, like I said, is not here anymore because she's very ill and not at her house taking care of them.
We have the same problem in the opposing end of the city with just random cats straying through the neighborhood. Now, we don't take them and get them fixed.
Well,
but
I'd rather do that than have with all the babies coming. I'll have tons of trouble.
I understand. I will tell you, and if you want, I'll look into this one more time, but the last time they told me to get traps, and that Public Works would pick them up and put them in that building right there, and then once or twice a week the animal control would come by and pick up the animal and the trap and put down fresh traps for us to hand out.
Well, I'm not into getting the cats taken to be put down, because the cats can't help being here. If they would just fix the ones that they have and stop multiplying, there's got to be something. I know that a friend of mine, I'm not going to name her, but she got into trouble because she had a whole bunch of them living in Callaway, and animal control kept coming by, and she had to have so many spayed every so often. There's gotta be something.
Well, at
that can be done.
$325 a head, people aren't gonna do that with random
Well,
cats.
You know, either they keep on, or, you know, I'm not gonna put I'd rather spend the money and keep myself from having a pile of kittens to have to take care of, and then go get them fixed, and it just keeps going.
Well, you know as well as I do, it's almost impossible to give cats away.
Yeah,
There's
I
so
get it.
many of them,
I know.
so
That's
many
why I'm
of them.
saying if we can try to stop it somehow, I just feel that we could look into something to find some kind of law, some kind of ordinance we could do, something that the city can, I know I can't be just me this is happening to, cause I know there's gotta be other places in the city. And I ain't out to kill them or nothing, I take care of them and I feed them and I get them fixed. But this, when it hit me with $328, when it more than doubled from the last summer,
Well-
when I had three come at one time. and
You
one was-
remember last year about this time, we had an epidemic right here in the park. And we looked into it, and the solution was to trap them. And you know as well as I do, they say that they don't put them down, but there's no, what do you do with 50 cats?
Well, you can't, make them friendly or anything,
They're
not gonna
feral.
keep 'em.
Right?
But everyone that's coming up has to be somebody's cat, they're too nice.
I don't,
Why do
I,
they leave home? Because they're not being fed.
well,
So, I mean, there's reasons for that, and that's what, just that,
I'll get you an answer tomorrow, but I know it's civil, it's not a crime. No one, it's not a crime to not feed your animals unless you charge somebody with it, then it becomes a problem. Do you want me to go that far?
we need to find out what we can do.
Okay.
I mean, I honestly think that's borderline animal cruelty. I mean, if you have animals, if you make the decision to have an animal, it is your responsibility.
I agree, I think everybody in the room would
If
agree,
you
but
don't,
what do you do?
It's cruelty. It's no different than if you have children and you don't feed your children, it's a crime.
Well, this
I
kitten that
look at
have-
animals the
that
same
I
thing
have
as children.
now, that I just got fixed, come from there up there, cause I saw the brothers and sisters up there. And if she was in heat when I took her to get her fixed, those little if there's any sisters, they're pregnant, and they're gonna be having babies.
Yeah,
So, well, I would appreciate it, but like I said, I'm not coming as a council member, I'm coming as a person.
are you saying it's a code violation to do this?
Yeah, 'cause of that, the animal control comes off of his budget and under his code stuff, so
Okay,
I'll have him try to,
can you be my office at 10 and give me an update on what we're gonna do?
I'll have him, I don't know if he's gonna be able to have you an update on, and figured out what he's gonna do by ten, but I'll have him start tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good. We'll look into it for you, Miss Barrow. We could put the Parker Police on it and have them round them all up. And I don't know what you do with them, Chief. What are you gonna do with them all?
Ship them over to,
Take them to the farm and drop them off, right?
drop them off at Callaway.
Take them to Callaway. Good Lord.
I'm just saying, if you could go talk to these people and say, hey, you know, you're causing a
Heartache.
burden on all your neighbors,
Yeah,
cause you're not taking care of your animals.
I understand.
Know exactly where they're coming from?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna give no address in this meeting, but I can
Are
tell
they
you
wild
exactly what
cats
it's
or
like.
can you actually?
No, they're friendly. They come up and, like I
And
said,
you catch-
somebody's just they're not feeding them. I know these people aren't. All they do is smoke dope all day long. And I know 'cause you go by there and it looks like Cheech and Chong lives there. It coming out everywhere, that's all you smell.
We got wild cats.
They will smoke their dope, but they won't feed their cats or they won't get them fixed, and I'm just sick of it. I'm to the point where, you know, when it gets to where it's really digging into my
Now,
money.
The chief could do something about it if they're over there smoking weed. I mean, that
Well,
would
they
take
probably
care of
got
it.
that thing, they probably need to be in a nursing home if they smoke that much.
You go and arrest them, then they get out.
That's right.
You arrest them, get them out, arrest them, get them out.
I just want, if they
Yeah,
put the.
they've been arrested and released, and arrested and released.
Experts.
Going and talking to somebody and putting the fear in them a little bit might help. You know, just letting them know that, you know,
Well, let's give the code officer a shot. And if that don't work, we'll have to do animal control. There is no other way.
well, they need to do something because they're not doing anything they just sit in there and let them all.
So as I said, last year the solution was, and whether you knew it or not, I don't know how many Mr. Summerlin had in his spare room back there in the supply room, but we would get 3 or 4 a day and then the truck would come by and collect them, and, I there's not a good answer to this, I'm telling you, there's not a good, it's not a,
We can figure something out, like I said.
I think
you know,
Mr. Chapel might be the one that's got the right answer. Take them to another city and drop them off.
Fear God in 'em, you know, but you don't know when you grab them up if they got babies somewhere, you know, I mean,
Yeah,
that's this time of year with it, how they do.
heartbreaking. Okay. So, first item, ladies and gentlemen, is approval of the minutes from the posted dates.
Well, I have corrections on the recent one for April 7th. On the approval of the minutes, it was Scott, seconded by Mayor Kelly. Mayor Kelly can't second it, so it was either Katie or John.
I didn't second them. The minutes?
The minutes,
I just voted on them.
Well,
I know.
I don't
that's what I'm
second
saying.
nothing.
It's
well, you
got-
couldn't because we didn't
Okay.
have.
That's right.
It's a correction, it needs to be corrected on that
Okay.
part.
Yeah.
And then the next thing under it, where auction for surplus items was tabled, we didn't table that, I made a motion to go ahead and give him, let him, deem it as, surplus and go ahead and make what he had to do. We didn't table that one.
And then the one on March 3rd, Tanya's name was left out during roll call.
Okay.
Remove it.
I make a motion that we approve them, with the corrections.
Second.
Okay.
Got a first and a second. Will you call a roll, please?
Okay. Ms. Barrow,
Yes.
Ms. Boddiford,
Yes.
Mayor Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Chapel.
Yes,
Mr. I don't think that, has anybody talked to Mr. Haney by chance?
Eric did.
Eric? He's good?
Just sciatic nerve is, keeping it from walking.
Okay, yeah. How bad is it?
He said it's pretty bad.
Must be if you get here, so.
Okay. Okay, we have one item on the agenda, then I'll open the floor up to you, council members. It's the reading of the Fair Housing Proclamation, and today it will be read to you by our new city clerk, Ms. Stanley. And we have some folks here from the Fair Housing, and they just gave us our check. And, we're gonna get a photograph opportunity with everybody in them at the end so that they can, post this. So, Ms. Stanley, you have the floor, go ahead.
Okay. Proclamation. Whereas the Fair Housing Act, enacted on April 11, 1968, enshrined into federal law the goal of eliminating racial segregation and ending housing discrimination in the United States. And whereas the Fair Housing Act prohibits discrimination in housing based on race, color, religion, sex, familial status, national origin, and disability, and commits recipients of federal funding to affirmatively further fair housing on their communities. And whereas City of Parkers is committed to the mission and intent of Congress to provide fair and equal housing opportunities for all. And whereas our social fabric, the economy, health, and environment are strengthened in diverse, inclusive communities, and whereas more than 50 years after the passage of the Fair Housing Act, discrimination persists and many communities remain segregated. And whereas acts of housing, discrimination, and barriers to equal housing opportunity are repugnant to a common sense of decency and fairness. Now therefore, I, Mayor Andrew Kelly, Mayor of the City of Parker, Florida, do hereby acknowledge and recognize the month of April 26th as Fair Housing Month in Parker, and hereby urge the citizens of Parker to become aware and support the fair housing laws.
Thank you, ma'am. There you go. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for that. It's very nice. Mr. Chapel, you have the floor.
yeah, just wanna remind everybody that, I believe it's the 30th of May, we're having that barbecue ribs out at the pavilion at the park. It's a covered dish affair, the meat will be supplied. It'll start about 4 o'clock, go to 6 or 7. I've got a DJ coming to it, trying to get some games for kids, to do some games, and I'll be contacting some of the businesses around here to get some door prizes for the kids that might win first or second place or something like that. But it's just a get together for Parker. You're welcome to come out earlier if you want to, but we won't start feeding until about 4 o'clock. I think I got enough ribs right now. I got it, if I counted right, I got about 120 or 125 servings. I think I can get 3 servings out of a rack of ribs.
Where you got them at?
Right there on the counter in the back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the yard sales are going good. We had 12 vendors last the second Saturday of the month. People are selling stuff. It's all free. You want to come out and put your table out there or use the tables that's there, you're welcome to it. We start that at 8 and it goes to 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, just depending on the crowd. Right now, the pavilion is reserved for the yard sale, but if somebody wants to reserve it, say like at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon on the second Saturday, they're welcome to do that, because we're normally out of there by then. So, that's it.
Very good. Ms. Barrow?
I already done mine.
Oh, really? Okay. Kate?
Okay.
Okay, I got a couple things, but let me hand this out to you council members first, so that you have a little bit of insight to what it is I'm trying to talk to you about. There you go. Is there 2 there? Yeah. There you go. This one for Mr. Chapel. So what you're holding is a poor rendition of this gentleman's property that he drew and gave to me.
Hey, that's my old house.
It is your old house. And it's not to scale, obviously. It's much smaller than what they have here. So the square on the left is the building or shed or workshop or whatever you want to call it on the property. And on the back of this piece of paper is his name and phone number. And he would like to extend that shed 3 feet so that he can put his motorcycle in the building and not leave it sitting outside or leave the door open.
I know that property like the back of my hand.
So then you know what I'm talking about,
I
right?
do.
So it probably does not meet the land development regulation because the angle of that property is such that it's waterfront and it leads right into the water. And everything that's there was built there before the hurricane 8 years ago, and then the lift station and all was moved after the hurricane. And so it put the fence in its correct location, but it wasn't in the correct location prior to that. And so that moved his whole lot around it. That whole property there is odd in that they own the road too. The street in front of the house is his. And I've asked him, I said, why would you want to own the street, you know? The city would pave it and put it on the paving list if you didn't own it. But what Mark's next? What he's asking for is permission. Well, what I'd like you guys to do is to call him and see him. Go see the guy. Call Tony and ask Tony, because it does not meet the land development regulation specific. However, the piece of property is not as big as this room that it's all built on. And there's, just because of the way the street is set up, there's no room for this guy to do what he wants to do. It's impossible. So I says to the guy, well, why don't you just buy a bigger shed, right? Have him take that one out and put a new one in. Can't, because as soon as they do that, it changes the dynamics of what's already there, and then he can't put a shop back there to put his motorcycle in. The rules, I agree with the rules, you know I do, but I don't agree when they're not when they're not fair. But I like you guys to talk with him and get him to explain to you what it is he's trying to accomplish. There's nobody at the end of this location but him. And I mean, he could put he could have put the extension on this building and nobody would have ever known. But he told me, he said, Mayor, I want to make sure that I do the right thing and that I put the extension on my building with the blessing of the city council. And that, I mean, that's to be commended that the guy wants to do the right thing. I think it is anyway. But what I'd like for you to do is to look at this. I haven't discussed it with Rega yet. I will discuss it with Rega. And then we could maybe have a conversation about it, and then we could perhaps vote on doing what we're going to do, because I think 3 feet added to the back of a shed is a minimal thing to ask for the city. The property's immaculate. The other thing he wants to do is the house has got brand new clad on the outside and the new windows and all. He wants to put new clad on the shed after the extension's built, if you give it permission, so that the shed, whatever you shop, whatever you want to call it, all of that matches his house, and it all matches and looks pristine. Now the lift station he can't do nothing about. That's been there. That's not going to change. I wish there was a way I could enclose that for him, but I can't. And so he can't go left, and he can't go back, and he can't go forward, and he can't go right, because going forward he'd be in the street, going left he'd be in the lift station, going back he'd be in the lake, and going right he'll be on his neighbor's property. So if you guys would just take a minute to look at that and contact him, and do you want to have any conversation about it, or do you just want to wait till we can get back together, or what do you want to do?
Well, are you gonna put it on the next agenda?
I didn't know yet, because it may not be possible. I will put it on the agenda, but I'm not sure that we can even legally do it. We would have to make a change to the rule for this particular property if we did decide to do that, and I'm okay with that too. But I wanted to, if you could talk to him individually and let Ms. Stanley know you've spoke with him, then I'll put it on the agenda and we can discuss it, if that sounds good.
If I can just partake my input.
Absolutely.
So, being as I used to own this
Yeah.
property and this house, Chuck, of course, you know, lived there for 20-something years.
Yeah.
It is a very odd piece of property.
It is odd.
Because you can't really do much with it.
No.
It's a beautiful property.
Beautiful.
I mean, but it's hard to abide by all rules, I guess.
Some rules you have to have.
Because at the time when Chuck did own this property, he was in talks with, don't let me lie to you because I really don't know what his name is, but he used to own that trailer right there where they're building the new house next to it.
Yeah.
So he was talking with him, and I'd have to ask Chuck to make sure, but I'm pretty sure where that big oak tree is, where it goes up the hill
Yeah.
in that alleyway.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that piece of property that's back there went with this house
Yeah.
as well. Don't quote me on that.
I think you're right.
But I know of the shed, obviously that's been there since before the hurricane. And I know that, I
But
know what the outside of the
Kate,
house
these
looks like.
houses back there have been back since the 40s,
Oh, yeah,
and there's nothing's going to change back there.
right.
They're all made of block. They're going to last forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know the guy real well. Just say hey to him, But I just feel like if there was something that we could do to help out a citizen, then perhaps we ought to think about doing that, maybe, huh?
I mean, me personally, I don't mind. I mean, he, for one, is on basically a privately owned road.
Yep.
He's tucked in behind a fence.
He is.
So you can't even see the shed.
No,
for
you
one,
cannot see
unless
it.
You're desperately looking for it.
That's right.
All you can see is to the right portion of the house.
How did you mow the grass there? Did you? What did you use? That's a steep
Chuck
hill.
Question.
Oh, it's a Chuck issue.
That's a
Okay.
trick question. I didn't mow the grass. I still don't mow grass.
Okay.
But you can't even see the shed unless you're purposely driving down that road to physically look for it. Otherwise, from Highway 98, you're never going to see it.
Well,
You don't even know
the
it's
guy's trying to do more on his property,
there,
and
which I get.
Oh, absolutely. And I went and met with him, and what he's asking for is 3 feet. 3 feet 3 or something like that. Added to the back of the shed, so when they open the door and he takes his motorcycle inside, I don't know. it's like that on the back of that shed. It really is.
The proposal here says 8 feet by 24 feet. Is that what she wants to do?
That's the building. That'll be the whole building.
Oh, I thought that's the extension he wants to do.
Yeah, the extension is 8 feet, but the building currently there's
That-
12 feet.
That's the width. The 24. It's got to be. There ain't. There's not 24 feet to go straight back behind it. You'd be in the lake.
It's gonna be long.
Narrow.
This way is 8 feet that he wants to add on to it. It's already 12 feet. 12 by
So in other words, there's a 12 by 24 building, and he wants to make it an 8 by 20. Add 8 feet to it.
Which is
But-
taking in the 3 feet of setback, basically.
Well, the setback's the water.
Yeah, I mean, and
I mean, you can't help the fact
to be
that
honest with you, the house that's there now, that doesn't even follow setback lines.
Not
because
even
half
close.
The house is in the water.
not
It's
even
the
close.
only house that's on the water.
That was
in-
built before they even had rules and regulations about where you built
Well, it
houses.
used to be an apartment, didn't it have, what, two apartments or
There
something?
is.
They're
an
still
upstairs
there.
and they're downstairs.
They're
It
still
is.
there. But he came and he asked me, and I went over and I looked, and I told him I'd give this to you if you would try to find the time to speak with him, and we'll put it on the agenda and we'll vote on it, and if it's yes, it's yes. If it's no, it's no. That's
I mean, I already know what it looks like, so.
okay. And I'll speak to John. We'll get somebody to speak to John.
I miss the house actually. Yeah, I do. I don't miss the smell.
I mean, you could cast your fishing tackle out the back window, couldn't you, down there and catch a brim?
But you know what? I love that house because the turtles that are back there was the best part. That was Chuck's highlight of the day was feeding the turtles.
Good Lord. So I've got one last thing, and I'm going to come at you with it head on because I don't know any other way to talk about this other than ask each of you after this conversation to speak to the department heads. Over the last 3 or 4 years, the bill from the city's attorney has gone up and up and up and up. Give you an example. For him to come here tonight, if he was here, he would charge me $900 for one round trip ticket. Come from Panama City to Parker, hear one item, and then go back. And I can't do that anymore. I can't do that. Everybody works really hard to try to not waste money, to save money. I have plans for, depending on what the governor does in November, I have some plans for our future ad valorem. I'm not willing to increase the taxes to cover the salary of the attorney when there's other things that I could do. There are many, many things that have happened in most recent months, such as, and I would ask each of you to speak to the department heads, but we had a code enforcement hearing 2 weeks ago, and the attorney fee exceeded the fines levied by the magistrate for the code violations. Well, I can't do that. I can't pay a lawyer more than we get in the fine, because the fine is supposed to cover the infraction of whatever the code officer got or did or whatever he did to him. So what I'm going to ask you to do, to allow me to do, you won't have to do a thing. Me and Miss Stanley will do it all. And I'm not really sure how to do this yet. I talked to the magistrate, and he told me we needed to go and get what's called an RFP and see if, it doesn't mean we're going to change lawyers, because he might come in at a lower bid. But I want to rebid his contract. It's not been rebid for 33 years. And I would like it to be rebid, and I would even like to consider not an hourly rate, but an annual rate where we would give him projects and titles. But we have problems now. We were going to submit a grant for a new police station. We met at the lawyer's office 4 months ago, and we've yet to get the paperwork to even hire the company that was gonna submit the bid for us. So, and I know he's busy, I know he's got a lot on his plate, I know he's had a lot of employee turnover, but I would like to see if I can find somebody who's willing to be our attorney for less than we're currently having to pay. Cause I can't keep rolling out 13,000+ a month, every month, to tell me something that we know the answers to most of the questions. And if you take the time to speak to the department heads, you're gonna be shocked. Shocked. Since I've been mayor, every month when we get the bill, I go through it, and if it's something I generated, I mark it. Then it goes to the next person, and then they go through it and they mark it. And there's never a month when there's not something that's not correct. That we've been charged for something that we actually didn't get, or if we did get it, it was just too much. One telephone call, they charged me $50. An email, it charges me $25. So you pick up the phone and call him, and in 1 minute, I owe him $50. And it could be that that's the standard going rate, and we'll have to rethink how we do it. But I can't keep paying him more than I think he's worth. But if you guys think he's worth that amount of money, then I'll go with that. But that's what I'm asking us to do.
You think it'd be wise to talk to some of these other cities that have mayors and see what kind of fees they pay them or so? Or?
Well, the way the rules are, Ron, you have to go out for RFP. You have to, in other words, get bids from other people. I do know.
We can't call them and ask them.
I can't stack the deck. It's against the law. I just, there's certain rules you have to follow. And 33 years is a long time. And I don't treat him any different than the way I treat all the rest of the folks. I treat everybody extremely fair. But this is just, I cannot keep paying out this amount of money every month. I got one on my desk right now that I just reviewed, and I just can't do it. And it could be, to be fair, Ron, to be fair to him, it could be that his prices are commensurate with everybody's. But then I want us to rethink how we do this and not charge by an hourly rate. Just give me a flat rate, X amount of money a year divided by 12, and I'll send you that check. And you'll work for, like we all do, 40, 50-hour weeks,
Yeah.
And I don't know. But I'd like some conversation, some discussion, some guidance if I could get it. I'd hope that John was going to be here tonight, but
Well, Parker has we are, as far as I know, we are the only city that operates in the black. And to me, I want to keep it that way. And if the attorney is going to keep on charging more and more and more, and we have to do something to offset the fees, that might start putting us in the red. And
not while I'm mayor. We're never going to be in the red.
yeah, I don't want the city to be in the red either. So, I take pride in saying that we're, out of the cities in Bay County, we're the only city that's actually in the black. And of course, I don't know how many people realize that, but the council here our fee is $1 a year. And you go to these other counties or other cities, and their fee is terrible. And the mayor is, well, these others, I mean, that's business for them. They're talking, they get $50,000, $60,000 a year for being mayor. And our mayor gets $2, I think. Maybe gets $1. But, I do it because I want to try to help the city. If it's a volunteer thing, that's fine and dandy with me.
Well, you can't expect the lawyer not to get paid. He's a lawyer. It's his job. It's like any other employee. He deserves a salary. And everybody deserves a fair salary. But unfortunately, this is getting to the point where...
I mean, I feel like you make sense though. I mean, but if you're gonna make a salary, make a salary. So
That's right.
I would say yearly divided by 12, there's your average. You may work 10 month.
That's right.
Fair, fair.
Ms. Barrow?
I just think do what everybody said, talk to the department heads, and that way they get a,
I would really like you guys to do that, because this is gonna have to come to a vote, not tonight, but it's gonna have to come to a vote officially. And we will put this out for pricing. And it was once in a while, and maybe I was naive, I probably was, but people come to me now almost daily and say, now look at this, he has done this or not done this. But this thing with the police department really, really was irritating. The grant was available. We met with the grant writers. Wasn't going to cost us a penny because we were going to put up the property for the deposit. And here I sit 3 months later, and I still don't have the paperwork to give to you so that we can say, here's Baxley's drawing, take it to Anchor and let them decide if it's right or wrong, and then get us a free police station. That was my goal for this year. But it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. And so, well, would you guys like to talk to the department heads, speak to them? Or you want me to go out for get the RFP going, or what do you want me to do? I'll do what you tell me to do.
well, I'd rather John Haney be in on it too, if we vote on it.
Yeah, but I can't go speak to John because it would violate the sunshine law.
The clerk can give him the information, and he can, if he wants to talk to the, department heads. I mean, everybody needs to go talk to him. If you talk to him on a regular basis, you need to be talking to him anyway.
That's true. That's true. Well, I'll just tell you, it's impossible to come here every day and try to save money for the city when you're losing it hand over fist for things that are avoidable. And if I've reached the end of my tenure because I can't fix the problem, then that's what it'll end up being. So, okay. Anybody got anything else? We're good? All right, thanks.